so first video review for this week is for In Dire Circumstances by Highton Stevenson. If you want to check out my Goodreads review, I have just posted that the other day, so if you're on my blog post on Facebook, there is a link within the post. And if you're on YouTube, then there is a link in the description below. And this is a video review, so I am so super excited to do this review. In Dire Circumstances by Highton Stevenson is the final chapter of the Dyer series. So I read the first chapter in Dire Need when it came out, and now this is the second part. So it's kind of one story in two parts. But there's one thing I want to say, because it's something that Claire's really trying to get across to everyone. These books, they are a romance. I can guarantee you, I read them both, they're definitely romance. But wow, they are romance with a bit of difference, and I love that. Romance with a bit of difference gives you some depth and something to really sink your teeth into, and something to really enjoy, rather than it just being that simple romance formula. And Claire really tells a brilliant story with this. So the first book has all that end of the world drama, and then the second book has all the dealing with it. So In Dire Circumstances is dealing with everything that sort of happened in book one. Now, Wren's kind of already been on one hell of an adventure in the first part, and then another one is literally about to begin for her in this story. So she's woken up in hospital and nothing feels right, something feels wrong, and she can't put her finger on what exactly it is, but she's really confused by everything around her, and nothing's making any sense, and especially her interactions with people and people she thought she was close to. Everything just seems off and she can't figure it out. But whilst recovering, she's really trying to put together all the familiar and unfamiliar that is her life, because her life it's really difficult to explain this, but she's kind of got to fall in love again with Andrea, and she's got to come to terms with everything she went on in the adventure and everything that's now happening. It's a really bizarre setup, but it really works for this. Like I say, it provides romance with a difference, and I love romance with a difference. Romance is such a big genre that you have to find your own unique spin on it, and one thing Claire is really good at is finding her own unique spin on romance. She's done it so many times, and she's done it differently every time, and she's done it so well. And I definitely think that In Dire Need and In Dire Circumstances is one of her more unique romance series, and I really like it. I really do. It was absolutely amazing, and Claire always brings a new story with new surprises, but this whole Dyer series, especially this second one, takes that whole element of surprise that she brings to a reader and her unique style of storytelling to a whole new level. It really is something different, and it's really something unique. And yeah, so I'm going to say this: I'm a massive fan of Claire's Cam Thomas series, but I think the Dyer series is now sitting pretty much on par. If not, I like it a little bit more right now, which is not great. Oh my god, I can't say that because Cam Thomas is my favourite, but I really think that Claire has brought something special with Dyer. She's just totally amazing, and this is definitely Claire's best yet. So creative and imaginative in terms of the story she's bringing you and the way she tells this story. It's really sort of true to Claire's style. The plot really is the cleverest thing about the story. What she's done here with the two chapters, if you like, the first chapter and the final chapter, is really powerful, and I think it's one of those stories that it will impact how you perceive it if you haven't read the first book, but you don't necessarily have to have read the first book to enjoy and understand the second book. Claire gives you just enough for you to pick up the hints, and you could quite happily read In Dire Circumstances and enjoy it as a story, but you will get a whole different level of meaning and impact if you read both chapters of this. So to get the full impact of just how amazing and truly great this is, you really do need to read the first book, and I would highly recommend that you read both of them, and you read both of them in the right order. But you don't, like I say, you don't have to. If you just wanted to read In Dire Circumstances, you could. I don't think you should. I think you should definitely read both, but you won't be at a disadvantage. Claire's given you just enough backstory for you to understand, but you really are missing out if you don't read that first book. So Wren's she's just one of these really amazing characters, and the second part of this is solely her story. It really is her coming to terms with everything that happened in the first part, and then processing that and moving on. So there's so much going on in the second part, and it's really quite emotional, which from Wren I hadn't expected. I don't know whether it was more emotional for Ren or more emotional for me as a reader, but either way it was just, I can only describe it as emotional. I think it was more for me as a reader because obviously having read that first part and then you're reading the second part, you've been on this whole experience with Ren, so even though her feelings sometimes are a bit more closed off, you are having emotional feelings for her, and she does have quite a few emotional feelings as well. You can see it even though she's trying to keep it quite locked up tight. I think they seep through with Ren, and if you're really connecting with her character the way you are supposed to be, then you will feel those. But I just loved how she was in this story, the way she handled everything and just worked through, genuinely trying to get back to the happiness that she really deserved. So I never would have predicted that Claire would take Ren's story in this direction, and I'm glad she did. It gave a whole new level to it. I think she did really sort of a great job of bringing us something different, and I'm absolutely blown away with just how easy it was to become really invested in rooting for Ren to get everything back to normal and to understand what was going on, even if things would never be the same again for her. Once all these pieces started to fit together, it was really quite something to experience with her. But although this is the final chapter in the Ren Dyer series, it's labelled the final chapter, I'm really hoping it won't be the last that we see of Ren and Andrea, because I really think they have more to give us as characters. I haven't nearly had enough of them yet, and I'd really like to see more of them in the future, but I understand, you know, all stories, they have to have their sort of time set, and so this definitely packs more of an impact, having that time impact that it does. But I would love to see more of them, even if it's just like a little short story. It'd be so cute. But I would highly recommend this series. It really is fantastic, and although you might have assumed otherwise, based on what you saw from the first book, it really is a great romance, and it's definitely one that all the romance lovers won't want to miss. So I hope you will go and check out the Ren Dyer series. I hope you'll go and check out In Dire Circumstances. I'll pop a link in the description so that you can go and grab a copy, and I hope you'll enjoy it. If you've read In Dire Circumstances by Claire Highton Stevenson, please let me know. Please get in touch. Let's talk about this book. Let's spread the message that it's definitely romance. Let's get it out there for people to enjoy, because I think a few people are perhaps missing out on something they really would like. And let me know what you thought of it. How did you find it? And if you haven't read it yet but you're planning to read it, or you're interested in reading it, or this is the first time you've heard about it and you are now adding it to your to be read list, or would like more information about it, again, comment below, let us know, get involved in the discussion. It's always great to hear what you're interested in reading. And if you are going to read it, like I say, I really hope you enjoy it. I hope you have a great time reading it and going on an adventure with Ren, because it's really brilliant. And yeah, just really hope you have a great time reading it. Bye.